want you all to brace what may happen in the next couple weeks. Something might be released, maybe not. All right, but it was important that while I sit before the people, act like I can't be up here and act like ain't nothing going on. Something going on.
So he grabbed me by the back, slammed me up against the wall in the corner, and he opened up this door to the back, and he told the two officers to cut the cameras off. And they just started beating me.
In this video today, we're gonna be talking about a really disturbing story out in the south suburbs of Chicago, in the city of Robbins. It's extremely disturbing from a very popular YouTuber that I'm sure if you check this channel out, you may know who he is. His name is the Tyrant Terminator. And it shows some glaring examples of the systematic issues that is plaguing law enforcement, especially in the south suburbs where there's so much corruption. Let's check out this story.
An update to a story we were the first to bring you about the turmoil brewing in the south suburbs where the Robbins police chief abruptly resigned amid claims he assaulted a man in Village Hall.
That man sat down exclusively with our own Andrew Ramos to tell his story for the very first time.
I didn't know. You know, I started thinking about all type of stuff like George Floyd. I just started thinking about it. You know, my mind was just racing.
His followers know him as Tyrant Terminator Audits on YouTube, and because of what happened to him, we're only going to use his first name, James, as he says he's still coping with trauma.
How you doing, officer? Good, how you doing? Pretty good.
It's an exchange James has had countless times.
You cannot videotape all Cook County property.
Where he films interactions with officers.
You're not rushed, but you can't stay here all day.
I've watched a lot of the Tyrant Terminator. Now, if you haven't seen his channel, obviously the link will be in the description below. I am a big fan of his channel, and his mission is to hold public officials accountable. His approach is straightforward. He films interactions lawfully with law enforcement officers and public employees to ensure that they respect citizens' First Amendment rights. And the biggest issues that you see on his channel and many other audit channels is the scary fact that law enforcement and public employees do not understand the laws that they're supposed to be trying to protect. I've watched numerous videos on his channel, and one thing that stands out, James never initiates physical confrontations. His demeanor is calm and collected. Usually he's the one that tries to de-escalate situations, trying to teach the law enforcement and the public employees that you cannot trample on First Amendment rights.
And other public employees in government buildings. A form of activism is called an audit, all to test whether First Amendment rights are respected. On July 1st, a visit to Robbins Village Hall, he says, spiraled out of control when he came face to face with former acting police chief Carl Scott.
He pulled out his personal phone, he started recording me, and I told him that I was going to get a FOIA for that video that he was making, and I was there to, file a complaint.
A FOIA is a Freedom of Information Act request, a form requesting records from a public agency. And that complaint is for what James says was over his first visit to Village Hall back in March, when he first met Scott. That encounter captured on video.
And we'll watch some of that after this. And this is supposed to be the acting police chief. So you would assume when a police chief comes into a situation like this, they know the First Amendment. They should understand that the Tyrant Terminator has the right to film in public. This is a public building. Taxpayers, we all pay for that building. As long as he's in that area, he's allowed to record. So the fact that the acting police chief doesn't understand that and wants to be aggressive, that's a big problem, especially the people who live in Robbins.
Okay, right now you have to leave.
It ended in an arrest where James was charged with disorderly conduct and breach of peace, both charges later dismissed. His return to Village Hall started out like they all do, on a cell phone. But this time around, James said things took a very scary turn when the acting chief did not let him leave. Now, footage of that encounter, unclear because his phone was taken from him.
He started to ask me for my personal information, like my name and stuff, and where's your ID.
As he is escorted to a back room, James says Chief Scott smacked his phone, which was recording everything, out of his hand. It's the last time James saw the device.
So he grabbed me by the back, slammed me up against the wall in the corner. And he opened up this door to the back, and his two officers with us, Officer Harden, Sergeant Yates, and he took me in this room, slammed me down on like this little metal plate where you sit at, and he told the two officers to cut the cameras off, and they just started beating me.
That attack,
You have to be kidding me. That is unbelievable. What the hell is going on in Robbins? A couple of days ago, they did announce that this police chief was fired before this story even came out.
Chicago has learned Carl Scott, the acting police chief for the village of Robbins for the past 15 months, was involved in what was described as a concerning incident, and he is no longer with the department.
The mayor contacted the Cook County Sheriff's Public Integrity Unit, launching an investigation. Choosing not to wait for the outcome of that investigation, Mayor Bryant moved to fire Scott. But before that could fully take shape, we're told the acting chief submitted his resignation. Mayor Bryant at one point hinted that the footage may soon be released.
So I want you all to brace what may happen in the next couple of weeks. Something might be released, maybe not. All right, but it was important that while I sit before the people, act like I can't be up here and act like ain't nothing going on. Something going on.
But the two officers that turned off their cameras need to be fired. These people need to go to jail. This is crazy. Just the thought of an officer of law telling his subordinates to turn off their cameras, to start beating a citizen is just horrifying. That's why he resigned before they had the chance to fire this guy. James wanted to exercise his First Amendment rights.
He says lasted about 10 minutes where acting Chief Scott repeatedly punched him in the face and head while the other two officers looked on and did nothing.
And at any point did you think this is it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. Especially when he asked the officer to go get a baton, man. I was like, oh, he's gonna probably beat me to death.
Photos taken after James was released where he was issued a nuisance-related charge appear to show severe bruising and swelling to his face, which he says was accompanied with severe headaches. James now being represented by attorney Jed Stone.
This is a horrible thing to do to a First Amendment advocate. It will not be tolerated, and they will have to pay.
He should never have been a police chief. He should have never been a police officer.
This needs to definitely get out. So, hope, wishing, and praying that no one else will have to go through something of this nature.
Now, CBS News Chicago has filed multiple requests to obtain all the footage surrounding this incident that resulted in the acting chief to resign, including James's video that he owns and the video from inside Village Hall that you own. A spokesperson for the village told us that they have no further comment on this case, referring us to the Cook County Sheriff's Office.
So I want to show you guys a little bit of the interaction. It's on the Tyrant Terminator's channel about his encounter with this police chief or former acting police chief in Robbins. Let's check it out.
We have never had anybody walk into our clinic,
I understand
asking
that.
for a FOIA or recording. We have never had that.
I can understand,
Okay,
and that's
we have people that we report to. Okay,
real quick. The
yeah.
reason why they probably never came in and done it is because they probably don't know that they have a right to do it. Sir, are you like the chief?
I am, sir.
Oh, okay. How you doing, sir? I was just trying to ask for your badge number. That's in your name.
How can I help you?
Your name and badge number will be here. Help.
Chief of Police of Robbins Police Department.
Oh, you don't want to give your name?
You can get that on the internet.
Okay. Well, I know it's part of you guys' policy. I don't actually need any help. I explained to these officers.
Can we actually leave, please?
Definitely after I'm done conducting my business. I have official business here,
No,
sir.
that's my business is done if you don't mind leaving.
Sir, I have a file for you. My business is not done.
For your medical records.
No, I'm not looking for medical records.
Sir.
The general information for this department, sir.
You
Why are
got a
you?
card for them to give a card.
Why are you escalating the situation, Chief? Yeah, because you're telling me my business is done.
Right now
Rightfully.
you have to leave.
So you're saying if I don't leave, I'm gonna be arrested?
Sir, I'm telling you right now you have to leave.
Is it a lawful command?
Your choice on whatever you wanted to do.
No, I'm saying if it's a lawful command, I will leave.
There is a pattern of abuse in the South suburbs. This situation is not an isolated one. I've seen stories about this kind of police corruption stories in the South suburbs, including areas like Dalton and Harvey. These places have been long plagued by corruption and misconduct within their police departments. Dalton, for example, has had numerous cases of police brutality and misconduct. One of the largest settlements in the state of Illinois is based in a situation that happened in Dalton. Similarly, in Harvey, the police department has faced multiple lawsuits over the years for various forms of misconduct, including unlawful arrests and the use of excessive force. This pattern of behavior is unacceptable. Scott's actions on that day was not just a violation of James' rights, they were a blatant abuse of power entrusted him by the community. And the biggest issue now is transparency and accountability. That video footage needs to be public today. It's not just a reasonable request, it is necessary. We need to know exactly what happened at Village Hall. Transparency is the most important part. It's the cornerstone of trust in any institution. And the Robbins Police Department has a long way to go in rebuilding that trust. The community deserves to see what the hell happened that day. And as a follower, a subscriber to the Tyrant Terminator and watching his work, I am deeply disturbed by this incident. It's heartbreaking to hear James talk about what happened to him. His commitment to activism, being an auditor, is commendable because he's putting himself in potentially, at this point, dangerous situations because he's dealing with rotten, corrupt police officers and police chiefs out to not just violate his rights, but to harm him physically. And it's infuriating to see him treated with such disdain by those who should be upholding the law. He has his lawyer. I'm sure they're drawing up a lawsuit, and I hope he does win his lawsuit. The policing in the south suburbs needs to be cleaned up. It's not just affecting First Amendment auditors, it's affecting the everyday people who have to deal with this kind of policing. This means thorough investigations, public disclosure of findings, and when necessary, prosecution for those who abuse their power. The acting chief of Robbins thought he can quit and get away with this, and I hope he doesn't get away with this. We'll be following this story to its conclusion. Follow the Tyrant Terminator. I'll have his link in the description below. Put in the comments below what you think about this story. Let me know. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.